and I will be another presenter of the Group 3 discussing about gender identity. So have you ever thought of what kind of gender you are? You may be a male or a female by birth, but have you ever wondered what kind of gender you're attracted to or what gender do you identify as? Well, me and my group will be discussing all about different types of genders.
Let's talk about transgender. So what does being transgender means? Transgender is an umbrella term for persons whose gender identity, gender expression, or behavior does not conform to the typically associated with the sex to which they were assigned at birth. Ang mga transgender, sila ni ang mga individuals nga lain ilang gender identities sa na-assigned nga sex sa ilang pagkabata. So for example, we have here our new classmate. His name is John. John was assigned female at birth but identifies as male. So, gina-prefer yung magamit sa pronouns such he or him kasi kaya gina-identify ako galingon as male. So, as John starting to attend classes, iyang classmates gakamis gender siya. Ginagamit ang iyang names ang una, ang babae pa siya, pag iyang pronouns nga she or her. So, what do you think John would feel? Siyempre, John would feel uneasy and uncomfortable. Knowing nga gina-identify ako galing as male, pero may gatawag pagyapon sa iya female birth. Pag also pronouns gyapon sa iya, she or her, maski niya gusto is he or him. It's unfortunate scenario, right? So, to avoid that unfortunate scenario, I'll be answering, why are some people transgender? It suggests that the development of transgender identities involves a combination of genetics, hormonal, and environmental factors, rather than a single cause. If you think it's too complicated enough, then I'll suggest we all to dive deeper into that topic. Dili na di masulod ang maginahamba sa mga tigulang sa social media nga sakit ni bala kuno ang pagiging transgender. So, we are here to relate mental health sa pagiging transgender. So, we have here a study that a psychological state is considered a mental disorder only if it causes significant distress or disability. So, as what I said, as you have heard, it addresses the misconception that being transgender is a mental disorder. While the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders recognizes gender dysphoria as a condition that causes significant distress, it's essential to understand that being transgender is not a mental health issue. This distinction has significant implications for how we approach, support, and healthcare for transgender individuals. So, tandaan natin, kung may makita ka nga transgender, hindi kita magambal nga sakit na sila sa likunan or may problema sila sa utok. Kay, ang the-cause lang gani mental health issue is kung the-cause sila distress or disability. So far, why man ang iban nga ang muna. Pag hindi pa sila pag-generalize kung ang transgender nga muna the-cause ng distress or disability, maambalan dahil nga may mental health disorder. So, being transgender itself is nothing about mental health issues. So, we have here another question to be answered by me. So, what are some categories or types of transgender? In this context, it introduces several categories of transgender identities, including transsexual individuals who seek medical interventions to align their bodies with their gender identity. It also highlights the importance of using preferred names and pronouns for transgender individuals, which can greatly impact their sense of self and well-being. So if hindi ka sure sa pronouns ang sa katao, use they or them. Usually, tama rin sa pronouns, but it's too complicated to be discussed. But the basic ones are she or her, he or him, and they or them. So in order for us to respect them, we should use proper pronouns and proper names. Kung diin ay ilang comfortable, at kung diin sila nag-decide. Hindi ta mag-decide sa aton kaugalingon na pagkat nakita ta sabi, nag-transgender siya, pero doon lalaki siya, gapo naman siya, gapo natin, nga totoo yung pangalan. Hindi. Tapos, natawon dapat naton kung diin gina nila preferred. Kay ka-insulto na sa ila, kag that is being disrespectful. So, to summarize ang akong tanan nga ginpangwakal, being transgender is a complex and multifaceted aspect of human identity. Ang topic nga transgender, ang aton subong discuss, is very complex gid siya, kag kinanglan gid ni sa some deeper nga research, kag also sa mga professional nga may ara di knowledge, kag enough nga vocabulary para ma-comprehend ang sini nga topic. My report emphasizes the importance of recognizing and respecting the diversity of transgender experiences, rather than relying on outdated stereotypes or assumptions. Akong report ang importance sa gidne nga dapat gaan ta respect ang mga transgender people at hindi tayo magpati sa mga stereotypes na makita ta sa mga palibot ta, especially sa mga social media. One of the most significant takeaways from my report is the need to distinguish between being transgender and having a mental health condition. So agad, suliton ko, being transgender itself has nothing to do with a mental health condition unless may mga ginimo siya nga, unless may mga disability or distress sa amo na ang matawag ka nga may siya mental health condition. Pero being transgender itself has nothing to do with it. Acknowledging that being transgender is not inherently a mental disorder can help reduce stigma and improve access to support services. Ma-acknowledge na gid dapat nga ang pag being transgender, wala gid siya sakit sa ulo or sa panumduman, kay para maka-reduce man ta sa ilaman mga stigma nga porket transgender, may na din sakit sa kag kinanglan na kunupulungon kung sunod pa sa mga social media kag sa mga katigulangan. Last, we can really support and make small changes maski sa paggamit sa right pronouns sa ila. Diba nakambal ko, ang mga basic pronouns are he, him, she, her, kag they, them. Maski magamit na lang sa ila names. Kung hindi sila gusto tawgon sa ila past names, so why bother nga tawgon pa sila kung hindi man sila comfortable? Because it costs nothing to be kind, so hindi ka magpinalog sa atong kindness.
So what is cisgender? Often shortened to cis, described as a person whose gender identity matches the sex they were assigned at birth. For example, someone assigned female at birth who identifies as a woman, or someone assigned male at birth who identifies as a man is the cisgender. The term comes from the Latin prefix cis, meaning of them on the same side, contrasting with a transgender, where a person's gender identity differs from their assigned sex. In other words, you can identify yourself as a cisgender if you are sticking to your birth gender, and being attracted to your opposite gender, which is, in other words, is you are a heterosexual. Meanwhile, the next type of gender identity is the opposite, gender fluid. So have you ever think to yourself that you're neither a boy or a girl, a female or a male? Rather, you just wish to be described as who you are. So gender fluid is a gender identity where a person experiences shift in their gender over time, meaning they may feel more masculine, feminine, both or neither at a different moments. These changes can occur daily, weekly, or over longer periods and may be influenced by emotions, social context, or personal experience. Gender fluid individuals embraces a flexible and evolving sense of self rather than adhering to a fixed gender identity. Their gender expressions may also change to reflect how they feel, but it does not always have to. Being gender fluid is a valid and personal experience that exists within the broader spectrum of gender diversity. This means that you can either feel masculine or feminine at any time of any week. It depends on what the persons feel. So rather than being described or referred to as a he or she, they sometimes prefer to be called they or them. This next gender identity is maybe similar, which is non-binary, a gender identity that does not fit within the traditional male or female binary categories. Non-binary people may identify as a mix of both genders, somewhere in between, completely outside of the gender spectrum, or the gender identity may fluctuate over time. Some non-binary individuals use the terms like genderqueer, gender fluid, agender, or bigender to describe their experience, while others simply identify as non-binary. So these ones are the people who are in between. They neither prefer to be called she or he, rather they would like to be called they or them, which is in between the both specific genders. Finally is genderqueer, an umbrella term for people who do not identify within the traditional genders binary of female and male. The key characteristics to these two that you must always remember is that genderqueer individuals often identify as non-binary, meaning their gender identifier falls outside the categories of a man and a woman. Now, they're also known to be gender fluid. Their gender expression may be fluid, shifting and changing over time, same as the gender fluid. Next is also diverse. Genderqueer is a broad term that encompasses a wide range of identity and expressions, meaning it's not just one gender, it's not just two, but rather there are various of genders that they can identify themselves as.
Bright morning, everyone. I'm Longmin from a group reporters. First discussion is about gender identities is a gender. A gender is a prefix, a means without. So the gender identity, a gender refers to someone who is genderless or without a gender expressions. Someone whose gender might use they, their, them pronouns, but they could use she, her, his, hers, or he, him, his pronouns. The gender flag, as you can see, created by Salem X in 2014, has 7 horizontal stripes. The black and white stripes represents the absence of gender, the gray represents semi-genderless, and the central green stripes represents non-binary genders.
So now let's talk about pangender. So pangender is a gender identity in which a person either identifies as a countless number of separate identities that they are fluid between over time, or that they identify as one of all encompasses identity. So the gender that a pangender person has only includes a gender within the person's own culture and life experiences. So when we say pangender, it is a complex and multifaceted term that recognizes the diversity of human gender experiences. So it challenged the traditional binary understanding of gender and allows individuals to express their identity in their own unique way. So I have an example for that. So there's a person na iyang gender is pangender. So might that person experience male sinibay nga adlaw, but on the other day female naman siya, but on the other day both naman. So as time goes by, iyang gender identity kay ga-involve pa na siya. So they can express their gender in different ways depending on how they feel. So next is bigender. So bigender is an identity in which people experience exactly two gender identities, either stimulously or varying between the two. While it originally referred to individuals who identified as both male and female. The term bigender now encompasses the pairing of two gender identities. So when we say bigender, it is a bigender person identify as both female and male, experiencing both masculine and feminine aspect of their identity. Depende na siya kung paano nila i-feel or paano nila i-express nilang kagalingon sa pagdating through masculine or feminine. So they express their identities in different ways through clothing or social interaction. So next is bigender. Bigender people have any gender expression. Bigender people may experience dysphoria, in which they want their body to reflect traits from two distinct sexes, or experience dysphoria at the same time, but not others. However, not all bigender people experience dysphoria. Some bigender people may choose to transition so that their body more closely matches their gender identity, but not everybody decides this is the right choice. So dysphoria means it is a satisfaction sa iyang biological body. So it means though hindi siya satisfied sa ang iyang body. So I have an example for that. Si Clarice Pempenko. So di ba si Clarice she is a or he kay di ba nagpa-change sa subong. So before kay girl siya, she is female before. So, bali daw hindi na feel ang iyang biological body. So, nagpa-change siya into male. Right? So, and si Charisse, nagpa-feel siya dysphoria. Bali daw naka-feel siya dysphoria. So that nag-change iya gender into male. So reminder, it is important to remember that everyone's experiencing with gender is different. And there is no single right way to be bigender or what gender you are facing right now.
To continue the discussion about gender identities, the next topic is two-spirit. The term used by the indigenous cultures to describe a person who embodies both masculine and feminine sides, who holds a unique gender role outside the traditional male-female binary. It carries cultural and spiritual significance and varies across different indigenous communities. So the two-spirit flag define the circle denotes oneness in one, while the feathers signify woman and man. It's usually put over the LGBTQ rainbow flag, but it may also drop over the transgender or binary flag. So the two-spirit refers to the people who are part of an indigenous American native group who identify having both female and masculine traits. So historically, there are individuals who are seen as having two identities in one body that are feminine and masculine. So having two spirit of the genders is special gift for indigenous cultures. They have a special gift held and respected in position in their communities.
Gender expression. The gender expression typically reflects a person's gender identity or their internal sense of their own gender, but it is not always the case. Gender expression is separate and independent both from sexual orientation and sex assigned at birth. Gender identity can be expressed through behavior, clothing, hair, makeup, voice, body language, and other aspects of one's external appearance. Gender expression does not always fall in line with a person's gender identity. A type of gender expression that is considered atypical for a person's externally perceived gender may be described as gender non-conforming. Gender expression can vary widely between individuals and cultures and may not always align with traditional gender rules or expectations. Some people may express their gender in a way that is typically associated with the opposite sex, such as a man wearing a dress or a woman having short hair and wearing masculine clothing. Others may prefer a gender-neutral or androgynous appearance or may choose to present differently depending on the situation or context. In men and boys, typical or masculine gender expression is often described as manly, while a typical or feminine expression is known as effeminate. Effeminacy or female femininity, these traits include roles, stereotypes, behaviors, and appearances that are socially associated with girls and women. In girls and young women, a typically masculine expression is called tomboyish. In lesbian and queer women, masculine and feminine expression are known as butch and femme respectively. A mixture of typical and atypical expression may be described as androgynous. Androgyny is the possession of both masculine and feminine characteristics.
Good day everyone, I am Jeric B. Montalto and my topic is all about symbolic interaction theory. According to symbolic interaction theorists, concept like gender does not exist objectively but they emerge through a process of social construction. Therefore, gender is not a personal attribute but something that is accomplished through interaction with others. The society already dictates that what to wear, how we walk, that kind of language we speak. The symbolic interaction theories emphasize that gender is a social construct shaped through interaction and interpretation rather than inherent biological differences. This means that gender role, expectation, and identities are not fixed but rather fluid and constantly evolving based on social interaction. All people we interact with on a daily basis play a role in either affirming the meaning of gender that we already hold or in challenging and reshaping it. Yes, absolutely, because we are surrounded by social norms and expectation about how men and women should behave, dress, and act. These norms are often reinforced through interaction with family, friends, teachers, and even the strangers. For example, is a girl being praised for playing with dolls and a boy for playing with trucks reinforce traditional gender roles. Thank you. That's all.